Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of the Cartridge and Disc Podcast. This is your Gen X Gamer here. And today, let's talk about the recent, it looks like, firing of John D over at Arcade 1UP. Now, let's look at this from a business perspective. You know, when I talked about John D, I made comparisons between him and Tommy Tallarico because they're the kind of people who seem to, the rest of us needed the spotlight. Right? Being good at PR is a completely different set of skills than being an officer in a corporation, or being a CEO, or being a marketing director. Whatever it is, it's a different set of skills. And if you don't have the skills to navigate PR, specifically now in the date of social media, you can get yourself in trouble. I don't care how nice of a guy you think you are, or people may think you are. Anybody can have a bad day. And if you have a bad day on social media, that's your image for a long time. That's just the way it is. That's the way the world works. Now, I don't know the man personally or what have you. I don't have any opinions on him as a person, nor would I ever express them because it's not the purpose of this channel. For us, it's to analyze business, and this is not the first time something like this is going to happen. The parallels between Tommy Tallarico and John D continue here. Tommy had to fight the board and he lost, and it looks like John D suffered the same fate. Let me tell you, for John D, whatever you may think personally about the guy, the one thing he did was get licenses, and good licenses. I don't care what you have to say, getting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and the Blitz is a huge deal. But he doesn't put them together, right? He doesn't put them together. He doesn't put the machines together. He's not in manufacturing. He's not in any of those other areas. So when you get those licenses and you try to promote them, there's a certain expectations of customers, like me, like you, like anybody listening here. And those expectations are that you have a good quality product, that what it says in the box, it actually does, right? And that is where you run into trouble with the bean counters, because really here is what you're witnessing is the same thing as Tallarico. It's always the CEO, it's always the outgoing person, it's always the guy doing the promotions, getting some of the opportunities done, fighting against the people who just want to make money, right? And here you have a very defined dynamic, which was expressed by other people, in other interviews, where you have John, getting these licenses, promoting the product, and the company not delivering. And why is that? Why do you have this yin and yang in a company where everybody could agree that having better product would make the company more money? Well, that's not the way it works in companies. You have the bean counters. The bean counters want to make money all the time. And let me just give you a different point of view here, not one that I would agree with, right? If I was running the company, I would do things much differently. But it entails a certain degree of risk, which many board members of any company are not willing to take. Now, it looks like the CEO was on his side, but eventually, the people with the money talk. They're the ones who make the decisions, right? So let's say you're out there like John D. He goes out and gets the NFL Blitz. He gets Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He's delivering these titles to you. You're supposed to manufacture them, and you're starting to make turds because you can't deliver what the marketing is promising, right? And why is there such friction? Well, everybody makes fun of Pac-Man, but that's a problem. When you're running this kind of business, Pac-Man is a problem. When you have a machine that will sell and make you money no matter what, do you really care about the super graphics on Pac-Man? Do you care about all the other stuff that you would care on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or the NFL Blitz? Which one do you think is easier to make? Which one do you think is easier to improve? Right? They don't, people aren't clamoring for better screen quality when they buy these Pac-Mans or whatever the hell they're buying. Right? They are making a lot because they're selling a lot. And what the bean counters look at is short-sighted. I think we can agree on that. They're looking at, look, I can make this cabinet 100 different ways cheap. I don't have to do any of this other bullshit. I don't have to put in Wi-Fi. I don't have to put lobbies. I don't have to put spectator mode. I don't have to do any of that shit. And I make great profit on this. All you've done to me by bringing me these titles, give me headaches because I have to spend more money on programmers and this and that and the other to to sell these cabinets at a premium price, and I'm not even selling them. They ate it, right? They were not as successful as they wanted to be with Blitz. Obviously, I wouldn't say it's the same thing with Marvel versus Capcom, but with Blitz, definitely we can call it a failure, right? And you're just having to put a lot more work and a lot more of the expensive work in for those titles that we want, right? Now, if I was running the company, I would say, hey guys, make great quality products. If we do that, we'll have a good reputation. The money will come. More a business model akin to Nintendo, for example, right? And the business model these guys want to chase would be more of the microtransaction model, right? They're just bean counters. They're just looking at profit margin, right? So it's a very different view. You have John out there that wants to make this machine more than a console, more than just an arcade knockoff. He wants to make a community. He wants to make this and that and the other. Well, guess what? All those things cost money. I'm not saying that money isn't worth it. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that all his propositions cost way more money than just making Pac-Man over and over again. Right? So what is the return for my investment? Did I get my return for investment on the NFL? No. Did I get my return on investment on Killer Instinct? No. Am I getting all kinds of freaking headaches? Why do I have to get all these complaints from YouTubers and people saying this and that and the other? I don't have any of those problems with Pac-Man. Right? And now you have these other arcades, like, for example, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is going to be something that probably will sell and probably sell out because it's a different type of environment. Let me tell you, my mom, and I'm sure other people are in the same boat, we have older folks that love going to the casinos, love going to the arcade. Sometimes they have trouble getting around, what have you. Well, it's nice to have a machine. I don't know. I mean, what do you buy your mother-in-law? What do you buy your mother? What do you buy older folks that you don't know? You know they love Wheel of Fortune, right? You know they love gambling. You know they play this machine at the casinos. So believe it or not, this might be a winner for them. And it would be more than Killer Instinct, for example. So it's hard to debate with the bean counters when they're putting out a product that's not great, but it's still being profitable. And that's what you do at a business. You're supposed to be profitable. You're supposed to make money, right? Again, it's not the philosophy I would take. I would put quality into my product long term, see the return back. But when you have board members that all they're looking at is, listen, if I put $100,000 in the bank right now, I'm getting 5%, right? I'm losing money with your cabinets. Why the hell would I invest in that? It doesn't matter how you feel. That's what they're looking at. And you're always going to have this in companies, guys. I've been involved in many situations like this. I was involved in a company once where we had set up an environment where we were just pushing numbers, pushing numbers. We were doing great in sales. We were doing great in production. Everything was going great. And then we got bought out by another company, and they wanted to put in this system. And we told them, we've tried that before. It doesn't work. Our numbers are going to go down. You're going to be less profitable. Let's not go backwards. But, the bosses are the bosses. The board is the board. And they've done this their way for 100 years. And they'd rather do it their way, even if they make less money. Okay, there it goes. They implemented that in. Everybody left that didn't like it. The company's still there. They make less money. And that's that. I think it's going to be very hard, unless it's his own company, for John to realize the vision he has for these arcades. Now, can he take some of the licensing with him? Yes. But just like anything else, guys, manufacturing is a pain in the butt. It's too many headaches. Software, it's where it's at. You have to have really deep, hugely deep pockets to put out hardware. And either you do it in a very small niche market, but if you want to make it anywhere in the scale our arcade went up, it's just not going to work. Could he do it at another big company? Yeah, maybe. But then he's going to get those wrinkles worked out. Does he want to put out there the best product possible, and will they commit to his vision, right? To his vision, and to what point? Obviously, Arcade One Up was not committed to that. Arcade One Up right now, let me tell you, doesn't look like they're committed to any of the things that we want as fans. I think the John D era is over. I don't think they're going to be listening to the community anymore. They're going to be listening to their bottom dollar. Now, could they make a good product that way eventually? Maybe, but it's not guaranteed, and it's not going to be their goal to make you happy. Their goal is always to make money. And the moment that John D didn't make money, that's the time that he had to go. When their visions no longer met, John D wanted quality, wanted community, wanted competitiveness, wanted more of what you guys wanted out there. That I have to say. I'm not going to, I criticize him for wanting the spotlight, but that's very different than criticizing for not doing a good job. I think there is no way you could look at the licenses that he brought in and say that he did a bad job. You can't do that. If you don't like him as a person for whatever reason, well, that's a whole different story, right? There's plenty out there that I saw as evidence of him having horrible interactions with people and just, fighting on the internet and stuff like that, being suspended. That's all criticizable from a business point of view because you don't want your employees doing that out there. And I think he did that one too many times for anybody's taste. And was that the reason he got fired? No, but it's just building the case for anybody that didn't like him because they thought his methods weren't profitable enough. Anyway, that's just my point of view, guys. Tell me what you guys think. I will catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you again very, very soon. Take care.